What is up, you guys? Max back here with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how I got this Camaro you can see behind me at 18 years old and how you can too. So let's get right into it. Alright you guys, so let's get right into the video. So if you guys are here and you guys are going to hate on the fact that this is not a Camaro SS or anything like that, I'm not claiming this is some sort of crazy car. This video is more for the people that were like me when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, looking for a little bit of motivation, trying to hear other people's stories on how they got what they wanted. I wanted to hear someone actually do what I wanted to do, so that could give me, like I said, some motivation, and I could sort of create like a plan as to what I wanted to do. So if you guys are here to hate on the car or the video, this video is not really for you guys. And like I said earlier, I'm not claiming this is some sort of crazy car. I'm just trying to put into people's minds that this is realistic if you really want to do this as a young kid. So let's get right into it. So first, I'm going to tell you a few of the things you can do to actually put yourself in a position to be able to buy a car like this at a young age, and then I'm going to be going over exactly what I did. So first thing you can do, best advice I can give, is just save. So well, there's a lot of people who are sophomores in high school, 16 years old. They're going to be probably doing nothing, playing sports, doing homework, whatever, just what a normal kid would do. You could be getting a job, a part-time job, and I would just save as early as you can, get a job as early as you can. Don't work as much as you possibly can, but at the same time, you want to start saving up money so that when you turn 18 or whatever age you want to buy whatever you want to buy, you're in a pretty good position. And then what you're going to be able to do is, if there's people that are better off than you or more well off than you, you can catch up by actually getting a job earlier than them, because a lot of kids from their sophomore to their senior year of high school or around that age are not actually getting a job. There's a big percentage that do, most kids do, a lot of kids do, but there's a lot of kids that don't, and you can be able to get a step up on them by actually getting a part-time job and saving as much as you can. So that's the first thing I would do. It's the first thing I would recommend, because if you just do the math, if you were to work part-time hours, let's just call it 20 to 24 hours, making minimum wage at a grocery store, it depends where you live, but let's just say you're making $10 an hour, that's like $240 minus taxes. Let's just say you're taking home $200 per week, and if you're taking home $200 per week times 52, let's just say you take a few weeks off, you're going to give or take come home with about $10,000, okay? And if you were to do this for 2 years, so let's just say 2 years, let's just say you start working as a junior, okay, not a sophomore, which you can work, I believe, depending on where it is. But let's just say you do that for 2 years, and let's say you come home with $10,000 a year, because $200 a week times 50, it's going to be about 10 grand. So if you do that for 2 years, you're going to have 20 grand. Obviously, you cannot save as much as you are making. You got to spend money. Some people have bills, they got things to pay for. Let's just say you're spending $5,000 of that, half of that per year, okay? You're going to end high school or end those 2 years of working with $10,000. And then if you look at a car like this, which you can get for $10,000 if you look in the right places and you're willing to get a little bit more of a higher mileage version of that, 80,000, 90,000 miles, it's probably gonna have to be a 2010, 2011, 2013, something like that, and it will have to be a V6, but that's plenty of power, and it's gonna be a lot of kids. You're buying something to be proud of, and you're buying something to have a little bit of fun with, nothing crazy. So that's going to be something reasonable. If you come out with $10,000, you can buy a car straight up in cash if that's what you want to do. The other thing I would recommend is, as soon as you turn 18, get a credit card. Now, don't do anything crazy. Maybe just buy gas with this credit card, and you just want to start building a credit history. So if you do want to take out a loan of some kind, that is something you're actually able to do, because you can show some credit. Now, you have to be 18 years old to do this, so I'm talking in this video about how you can get a car like this at 18 years old. So this is just something, if you're 19 years old, if you have a year of credit, you're going to have a higher chance of being able to get a loan. If you want to go that route, definitely try to have some savings, go that route. Also, if you show some savings, you have a higher chance of getting a loan, but I would definitely try to build some credit as early as you can. Now, getting a loan as an 18-year-old is going to be harder than you might think, and a lot of people do know that it is very hard, especially because, like I mentioned, you're not going to have a whole lot of credit history, and you might be able to get a cosigner. That might help your chance of getting a loan as well, but a lot of people are not in a position to get a cosigner. Some parents wouldn't want to do that. It just really depends on your situation, but I'm going to assume that you can't do that. In that case, you're definitely going to want to save at an early age, and that would be the route you take, and that's just what you're going to have to do. Now for the part of the video that you guys probably clicked on the video for, I'm going to be explaining how I actually got this Camaro at 18 years old. So basically what I did was, I had a job at 18 years old, and I was making about $12 an hour, and I was working 30 to 40 hours per week. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, but at the time I was able to manage school and work pretty well. I was a freshman in college at the time, or I actually got this car the summer before I was a freshman in college, but to start out for the summer and then also for that school year, I was able to work 30 to 40 hours per week. Like I said, I know that's a lot, but I was able to make like anywhere from $320 to $400 per week. So I was actually doing pretty well. That's like $1,200 a month, something like that. That's what I would end up taking home, and I was doing okay. So I was making that amount of money. Obviously, I know other people have bills to pay and things to pay for, but in my case, I really didn't have a whole lot to pay for. So I was making that amount of money per month, and then I also had some savings, so I started to look for a car, and I was sort of surprised. Not to say this car is cheap at all by any means, but I know this car is not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. To get this car, I bought it with 67,000 miles. It's a V6. It had the RS package and a sunroof, so overall it's a pretty good car, and out the door with taxes, fees, everything, I was able to get the car for around $14,000, around there. I could pull up another time the actual amount I paid for after everything. And what I did, I was lucky enough to have someone be able to pay for the car, because I had some money in savings. I had somebody else pay for the car, like a family member, and I did that to avoid taking out a loan and paying an interest rate. It was just easier that way. And then I set up a payment plan with the person that paid for the car up front at the dealership, so they paid for it, like I said, to avoid to have to co-sign, take out a loan, which looking back, I may have actually gone that route, but that's what I ended up doing. I had someone else pay the price of the car, and then I set up a plan, like I said, with them, and it worked out with how much I was able to make per month. I was definitely able to afford it. And you don't want to do anything drastic. You want to make sure you can afford it. I'm not a finance person, and I'm not going to tell you this is how much, if this is how much you make, this is how much you should be spending on a car, because I know everyone's situation is different. And like I said, I don't exactly know what I'm talking about. All I know is my experience, but at the end of the day, I was able to make something that works for me, that I was able to afford, and that worked for everybody involved, and I was obviously very happy. So that's what I did. I know not everyone's going to be fortunate enough to have someone be able to pay up front to avoid that interest amount that you're going to have to pay by taking out a loan or saving the entire amount. I was lucky enough to not have to do that, but that's why I started this video off with a few things you can do to actually put yourself in a position to buy the car straight up, because that's what you might have to do if you are struggling to get a loan as an 18-year-old, which you probably will do. So that is actually how I was able to get this car at such a young age. Now, again, like I said way at the beginning of the video, this isn't to brag or say this is some crazy car or anything like that. This is really just to hopefully give you guys some motivation so you guys can try to achieve exactly what you want to in your life. It might be a car, it might be something else, it might be whatever it is. This is just my advice to you guys, my story, and just telling you guys how it was. So please leave comments down below if you have any questions. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.